All right. Good morning, good evening. This is going to be another tutorial. I am Mindmore, and this is my Ocean Block 2 world. It's very simple, but I was working on the last quest, and I needed nether stars. So it was either A, fight the wither, or B, make a particle accelerator. Well, I decided on making a particle accelerator instead of fighting the wither because, I like puzzles. I like the way to, figure things out. I'm here to explain how to do the particle accelerator. There's not a lot of information out there, and the information that is out there is kind of hard to understand. There is a short video by the developer. I think it was a developer or someone that was, working on the mod really early. This is I guess, a few releases after the initial mod. So there's some fixes and there were some bugs and stuff like that that were fixed from those videos. But there wasn't any tutorial style videos done on the particle collider. So that's basically what I did. I created this in my regular survivor world here. I went through a ton of resources, an absolute ton. Um, so let's get started. Um, so the way that I designed this was I found the design I designed sort of like online, I guess, from the wiki. What I've got here is these are the particle accelerator guide rings. Okay, you need those for the particle to go through and go around and build up speed. You have these particle accelerator linear motors, right, that speed up the particles. I have all my wires underneath, so I tried to make it as clean as I could, but it just didn't work out the way I wanted it to. So basically what happens is the particle accelerator here, you stuff an item into. Okay? When you stuff that item, ow, this little purple thing starts flowing around and around, right? And as it goes through the motors, it gets faster and faster. If you click on the particle accelerator, it tells you that it's going faster and faster, right? Because every time it hits a motor, it goes a little bit faster. As it does, as it speeds up, the gate and the distance of the curve start increasing. You can only do that so far with each design, and then something goes wrong, like it just did, and it disappears, right? It didn't do that because of the way that mine's set up right now. But it went from one, it's going to go to the next one, right? And once it gets up to another bunch of speed, it's going to go to the last one, right? And when that happens, it's going to try and collide with another particle that should be on the other side. I just did this as a test to show you guys. So what I will do is that's going to die out in a second. I'm going to go cut my redstone over here, and I'm going to show you what happens when you don't have the correct settings on here, and if it just doesn't work. So we'll take this one, we'll throw this one in. Oh yeah, it's not going to do that because it's still waiting on that one. Can I go cut this one off quickly? Oh yeah, that's just going to go to that side over here. There we go. And now it went off to the distance. Be very careful. When these things go off in the distance, they will destroy things. I had one go over this way, and it went right through my tree farm. Like, literally right through it. There's a gap that goes right through. So let's make sure we turn this one back to the way it was. Let me get rid of this pipe. There. Okay, so let's get back to this. So over here, if there is no if it's not going to skip another step to another loop, that's what this is here. This allows, it gets to a certain count on here, and after that, the particles just can't make the curves that are given here. So right here, so there's a curve here and a curve here with a one block gap in between. So if I go in here, okay, this is my laser IO setup. I barely know the basics for laser IO, so do not copy what I have here because it's just enough to work. I don't know laser IO, and that's going to be another tutorial I'm going to do at some point in time. once I actually learn what it is. I figured out that you could do redstone, you could put stuff in the barrels, and it'll extract when you give it a redstone signal. So that's what I've done. So you can get two that launch in the exact same time so that they match up with everything that you need. So if I tell this to go, all right, let's go up top of here so you can see this. So you'll start seeing it on this side, and it's going to be, and it's on the other side too. You'll start seeing the purple on both sides, right? Okay, this one gets up to the speed of about, like this design gets up to the speed about 1100 meters per second. And after that, once all these things are lit up, they collide together, right? And that will give you an item if that's the joule rating of what you need, right? So this collided together at 2300. So we had 1,000 on this side and 1,000 on that side. And when you put the two of them together, it gives you another number. To show you that, if we go to the particle accelerator and go to the particle, the second tab here, they'll show you, this is for ocean block. Other packs will have different things. But if you wanted to make an antimatter pellet, you take a time crystal and a flux crystal and you put them in those two boxes, right? What I did was 2 coal dusts, and that gives you a diamond, right? So just something as simple as that. It only needs 500 joules. So you don't even need to do this to its full extent. You could, say, cut it off right here, switch, the redstone repeater to here, and then have it connect in to this one here so that it changes this direction to straight, so the two particles will collide together. So that is basically the gist of the first circle. Okay, so the first circle, I have 4 on the sides, so 4 of the guide rails plus the corners, the turns. All right, on the 2 long sides, I have 6 of them. Right, I do have some motors in between. Your design doesn't have to have the motors, but I did that so that it would speed up and run a lot faster. Okay, so this one has a gap of 1 in between the 2 corners. When we go to the second one, okay, we look here, we've got a gap of 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 blocks in between that. Where is my corner? I must have switched this one. Right, that one right there. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's when I was trying to get rid of that that particle that was going wild. So here we've got 5 including the corners, and then 4 on either side. All right, so over there, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and that includes the corners. Right, and that's how I get the particles to go up to 5,000, right? And then once they hit 5,000, this redstone right here will tell it that it's got enough to have 5,000. 5,000 will allow longer curves for each one of those. Let me just eat something so I can run, because I kind of forgot that, and I forgot to put lights down here too. I'm sorry about that. All right, so what happens is it hits the 5,000. That redstone gets turned on to here, and then these get switched from going around in a circle to going straight. They come straight through here, and where the curve is, they're allowed to come straight through here because on the other side, it's a straight pipe, right? So they'll come in here and then just keep going straight through. So here, it's the same thing as that one, and the same thing as the first one. It's just larger. The gaps have gotten bigger, so it allows it to go faster. So this one here, you've got a gap of 6. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it'll keep going around until the gap gets, until the particle's going too fast, that the gap is, it can't make that turn, and it'll just go straight through and just off into nowhere land, right? So the most of the recipes that I'm looking for are the Nether star, right? So if we look down here, where is it? The Nether star here requires 15,000 joules, right? So that's an overcharged crystal in Ocean Block 2, and it's a netherite ingot. So you just have to make those 2 prerequisites for this, and then you can get a free Nether star out of. I mean, yeah, you did use a lot of resources to do this, but these are resources that you've used in your sifters, and you're getting almost an unlimited amount. So it's really not that bad. It's just time consuming to run all the way there and then run back and then there and then back. But that's not the problem. It's the fun of learning the tech, right? So what I did here was I was figuring out which one it needed to go to. And what I would do is I'd put redstone here and then run it, and then put, another redstone repeater here and run it. But, it was worthwhile. I really enjoyed it. At some point, I had a bunch of motors sitting in here and in here, and they all ran from this electrical wire here. So it was a lot of fun to do it. If you have any questions on the setup of this, feel free to leave me a comment down below. Let me give you my summary here that I made. All right, so the first collider, the one that we're sort of looking at right now, that one's got that one accelerates up to 1100 meters per second before breaking. Right, it may go to 1200. You might get 1200 out of it, but there's really no need. So yeah, you've got the four corners, and you've got a gap of 1 in between each one. Right, so they're nice and tight together. The second one, let me move my mouse so I can show you. So the second one here, okay, you've got a gap of 5. No, sorry. What is that? 4? Yeah, so you got a gap of 4 in between each one of the guide rings. Okay, and what that'll do is that allows for faster speeds. Right, so that 1100 that comes from the first one will allow this one to get up to 5000. Anything past 5,000, maybe 6,000, might work on this ring, like per side. But after that, it's going to break. And then you're not going to get up to your 1,500 or your 2,000 or 20,000 that you're going to need to make any of the resources. So that's what the third one's for. The far one way over here, that one goes up to 20,000, and that hadn't broken at that point in time. I was just trying to get the Nether star, which was 15,000, but I ended up getting 20 instead. Excuse me. So for each one of these, you need a sensor on each ring. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6. So if you're doing it the same as what I have, so three sets of rings, right? And you need the sensor on it. The sensor uses a comparator that outputs a signal into the redstone that's here. And each one of those signals, once they get up to, I think it's 4 or 5, will light the redstone lamp. Right? So as it goes down, I will include the link to the wiki in the description. So if you want to take a look at that and see what the developer put there, that's going to be in there. And I'll have a link to that one video that sort of shows how things are, but there's no voice, so you don't really know what's going on and how it's doing it. Excuse me. Let's see here. So the way that I did the switching for each one of these was I found out what the max was for each loop. I went 1 back. So if this was the max here before it broke, I went 1 back and put a redstone repeater in, and then just basically sent that signal all the way to the other side over here where the corner was. That would normally take it back around the loop, and I put the redstone signal here, and this will automatically change this one. So if I take, I don't have one of those on me, but if I put a redstone signal here, do I have a button? I don't have a button either. I would show you that if I had a button. Do I have a button over here still? I do. Okay. Actually, I can just do it right here. So if we take this button, because I was doing this manually at one point, if you watch this ring here, right? If I press and hold the button, it goes straight. I let it go and it comes back. Press it and it goes straight. That will shoot the particle through to the next set of colliders, right? So that is how you get it from one ring to the next ring to the next ring. You can either A, use a button and just stand in the middle, or you can use a silly redstone thing that I built like this. It is ugly, I know it is, but I don't do a lot of redstone, so I don't have a need for doing like remote redstone. I'm sure some people will come up with some very beautiful ones with, you know, a remote redstone that sits right there that detects from over there that doesn't make a giant mess. Um, Other than that, um, do so the number of motors. I know I'm sure someone will ask about that. Like, how many motors should you have per ring? Well, that depends on how much time and how much power you have in your base. Uh, if you don't care how long this procedure takes and you just want it to keep running over and over and over again, and you don't care about the output and how much you get of it, you could put one motor in each ring. At minimum, you have to have one motor because you have to get it to speed up past the limit and go to the next one and go to the next one. Otherwise, it'll just sit in one ring and just go around in circles forever and it won't speed up anymore. Like once a particle has reached a certain speed, it won't get faster, as far as I've figured out in this mod so far. I turned one of these on like before I had the switching in here, and I didn't have any motors in the next ring. I went and I had lunch. I went out with my kids and I did a few things, and it was still spinning in here, and it hadn't moved, and the speed had not gone up. So you have to have a motor in each ring section. So this one and this one, that one and that one, you know, that one and that one. It has to be a minimum of one motor so it can slowly go faster. If you have tons of power and you don't need to worry about it, put as many motors as you want. You cannot put motors on the corners. They have to be in the straight line portion. Okay. You don't need extra particle accelerators on each set of rings. You only need them on the first one that you're starting the chain on, right? So this one here, that one here, it's the only two that need to be there, and they need to be on opposite sides. So this one here will spin this way, and the one on that side will spin the other way, right? And so it's so that when they're going around and you want to make something say on this level here, you just break this chain and you have it connected into here. They will collide in the middle, right here, right? Or, you know, on the corner or whatever it is. Sometimes they're slightly out of sync. Sometimes they're not. I think it depends on your game and how much lag you have going on everywhere else. I haven't played this on a flat world with nothing else but the particle accelerator, so I don't know. I've just been playing that in my existing world, and it's very busy. I mean, as you can see, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on just over there, and that doesn't include everything else that the land is doing right now. Other than that, yeah. Other than that, I'm going to leave that here. If any of you guys have any questions or if you have any comments on this, like to make it better, let me know. I am not a builder. I like to do tech stuff. So that I like doing tech stuff and figuring things out. They're going to look ugly, and you know, that's really, you know, how I build. As you can tell by looking over there, that giant mess. So yeah, I will leave the wiki link in the description, and I will leave a link to that first video that I saw to give credit to that author for making that video, because it definitely did help me. It did, you know, I had to do freeze frame a lot while watching it, but it did help on what I needed to do and how I needed to do it, because the wiki does tell you a lot, but it doesn't tell you a lot at the same time. It's good information because I had to go back to it to figure out the differences between the curves, because I wasn't sure at the time on exactly what I needed to do. So yeah, that's going to finish up this tutorial, and this is my particle collider setup that gets me nether stars. So I'll show you down here. I have one full nether star in there, right? And to get that, I have one of these. I have one of these, and we'll put that in. So that this one's on this side, this is on this side. I'll show you what the laser IO looks like inside. Don't quote me on this because I am not a laser IO expert. So in here in the laser IO, I linked this node with an extension node with a laser connector and linked it up to here that's on top of the particle accelerator. That's on the opposite side, right? In this one here on the down, you have an item card that looks for coal and netherite ingots, right? So you just put in whatever you want that belongs on this side in that one. And then here, so that's an insert. In this one here, there's an extract on the barrel on the south side, right? You have netherite and coal dust. I was testing with coal dust because it's dirt cheap and I could just throw it in there as much as I want. So there's an extract card on this one. So extract with a filter, and then you have the two items. You have a redstone card as well. That's in there. And then on, where's the one that shows the redstone? Right here, sorry. The filter, that's the item card that extracts. The redstone is set to high. So it will not extract if there's no signal, right? So that's how I can put stuff in the barrels and it doesn't just pull it and go with it. Because if that happens, these things get so out of sync and they don't work at all, right? So this one's set up exactly the same, just the opposite, that goes into this one. And then you have the item card with the coal dust. I was experimenting with different ones, so that's why there's two cards and not one. Excuse me. Yeah, and this particle accelerator is on this side of the loop so that they run in opposite directions. So when I take this and click it down, I'm going to have to reattach this here. Hold on. This and that. All right, this will just take a few minutes, so just stand by here. This will speed up to 1100. And the other thing, I don't know if I showed this, but if you come and click on the accelerator, it'll tell you the current speed that it's going at, and then it tells you the gate and the minimum curve. So as it's doing that, you'll see it just sort of flip, and then it'll be in the next one. See, there you go. The redstone went off. You saw that in the bottom corner. And now it's going to do the same thing over here. It's going to beef up the speed. The only downside is you can only read the speed from the two in the first one, where you put it in. All right, so let's run down here. Hopefully we'll beat it. And you'll see these, the redstone signal will come out, and then this will flip and it'll go forward. Give it a second. I just hope I have enough power for this. I was starting to run low. Come on, you can do it. Are you almost there? I wish I could tell. Like the only thing from the mod Arthur I would love is to be able to look at the sensor and see the speed on it of the way that the particle's going. So the mod author, excuse me, ORITECH. If you're watching this, is there a way to get the speed indicator or something that an item that you can have that'll show you the current speed of what you're running at instead of having to run back to that? Okay, so this is taking a long time. I must be running out of power. These things use a ton of power. So we're almost there. Let's see here. We're almost there. We're at a power of 1, so we need to go up a little bit more. But I think we're out of power. Yeah, we're barely keeping up. So this may take a little bit longer. Yeah, it's neat to see when you have full power. Like I just went through night, so I guess I'm building my reserves back up again. Just go back and check what the speed is. Yeah, that's going to take a while longer. Let me cut and I will come back when that thing's going faster. All right, so this should just about go here. Just going to wait for this. I went and paused all my machines that I had running, so. Okay, so we should just about be done. There we go. You saw the redstone go off there. And now it's into the last one here. And when this builds up just enough, right? So we're probably at about 6,000 right now. Yeah, we're almost there according to that, right? And then when that happens, it's going to explode. You'll see the bang here somewhere. There we go. And since it collided there, that's 99% sure that 99%, not 100, because sometimes it collides and it just doesn't work. That's just, I guess, the name of the game. But we'll go over here and check. And the collision was at 1400. So somehow that was less than normal. Don't know why, don't know how, but it does this all the time. And we did not get another Nether star. So if we do that again, it might just work. Okay, so this one in here, this one in here. And if you put the wrong ones in the wrong barrel, they just don't go anywhere because there's whitelisting for each one of those. All right, so we'll just wait here. We'll give it a moment, and we'll actually watch this one here as the speed goes up for each set of rings. All right, we'll give this a minute. Once it starts accelerating, it really starts accelerating fast. I just hope phantoms don't show up. That's all I hope, because it's nighttime. Okay, so we got 1400 there. When we get close to 5K, that's when it gets shot to the last area. Okay, there we go. 3,000. 4,000. And when we hit 5, it's going to shoot across. There you go. It's in the last area now. So now we want around 10,000 for our speed. Okay, we're getting there. 8, 9. And there we go. 14,000. So we're slightly lower than the 20,000 that we should be getting. I'm not sure why that's happening. I'm guessing it was because the power was having issues. But yeah, no Nether Star again because it requires 15,000. So what I will show you that I know that'll work is we'll put in coal dust here. Okay, and then we'll say go on that, and it'll start doing its thing. The diamond only requires 500, so that's way over what it needs. So right now we have 25 in here and one Nether star. You'll see in a minute there'll be 26. All right. And it's funny the way that the particle accelerator works. You can get 20,000 3 times in a row, and then it'll drop down for some reason. Like nothing's changed, but it'll drop down for some reason. And I don't understand why it's not the same every time. There must be some kind of, I don't know, variable maybe that the mod author is using. But yeah, we're at 3,000 now. So we'll get out here. Like that was the last one was 10,000 for both. So that should have been 20,000 right off the bat. But there's no way to, if you're over here, there's no way to check the speed on each one of the particle accelerators remotely that I know of. Unless there's a way to make a screen to show me, what this is doing. So we're at 8,000. All right, 9,000. We're almost at 10. You could put more motors if you got more power, and this would go a lot faster. And there it is again, 14,000. And then if you come over here, give it a second. One second. Yep, come on. I don't know why that's not showing it. That one doesn't have a diamond in it. Does this one have a diamond in it? No, it doesn't. Are you at 20? There, it is 26 now. Okay. So it just took a little bit longer. I am using crappy mechanism cables, the slow ones, the greens. So just so you guys have an idea of this, let's dig this open here. All right. So that is just a mechanism logical cable or logistical cable with the extract set on the bottom of the particle collider. And that just takes its sweet time going back. All right. So that's really the tutorial, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me and it helps the channel. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave me comments. I'll try and answer them as best as I can. And I want to thank the mod author. This is a great mod. I mean, yes, I complain about it. If you've watched any of my other videos, I do complain about it when I have to make some of the stuff, but I like it. I'm growing more and more attached to this mod. My usual favorite mod is Mechanism and AE2 and Mystic Agriculture. And I think now I'm going to start adding more of this ORITECH into Modplex that I play, because it seems like it's a lot of fun. And there's a lot of neat resources that it adds as well. But yeah, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me, it helps the channel. And we'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.